Before they made cigarettes, you had to roll your own, but one thing that hasn't changed is they still tax the hell out of it. On modern cigarette packs, your tax stamp is generally on the bottom of the cellophane, and that tax stamp is actually going to be a state tax stamp, and they will be different for every state in the Union. Many years ago, those tax stamps used to be federal tax stamps, like this one on this pack of rolling tobacco. This is a 2 1/4 ounce bag of smoking tobacco as evidenced by that tax stamp, and it was the Our Advertiser brand, which was put out by the very famous R.J. Reynolds and Company. This brand was produced between the 1940s and the 1960s, which I find really interesting because I think that the design on the label and the way that it's advertised is definitely more reminiscent of the 10s or the 20s, and I believe that this was being marketed to an older generation when it was on store shelves. Each pouch came with 3 packs of rolling papers, and these rolling papers are amazingly similar to the same rolling papers that you would buy today. I bought this pack of smoking tobacco not in the interest of trying it out myself, but specifically for that tax stamp that seals the very top of the pouch. If you take a look at it closely, you can see that it is a 2 1/4 ounce tobacco tax stamp. And if you look right here on the side, we get an idea of exactly when this tax stamp was put out. It says Series 113 right there on the side. Now this paper wrapper is very firmly adhered to on the back, and I didn't really want to rip it off. So I have another example of what that stamp should look like. This is the Series 107 and is for 1 7/8 ounce tobacco, but the rest of the design, along with the portraiture along the bottom, is going to be the same on this stamp if we were to remove that wrapper. This series number allows us to date very specifically exactly when this pouch of tobacco was produced, because the very first series was Series 102 that was put out in 1932, and when stamps were produced in each successive year, it was bumped up by one number. For example, this one is Series 107, which means that it was produced in 1937, and as Series 113, this tax stamp was produced in 1943, which is when this bag of tobacco would have been sold. I love collecting tax stamps on piece like this because it demonstrates how you had to break the stamp in order to get at the tobacco that was inside, thus canceling the tax stamp and showing why it's such an elongated piece of paper.